So have you heard about the Lakewood Church shooting?
Oh my God, no.
Okay, so Lakewood Church is this mega church in Houston. I think it's like the third biggest church in the United States. It is absolutely huge. They like broadcast to 65 countries, 55 countries, something like that. And the guy who was the pastor of the church is named JoeStone. You probably heard of him now.
Yes.
So he's like the prosperity, you know, clean cut preacher. But it's a staple in Houston. You know what I'm saying? The church is literally in an old arena. That's how big it is. Yeah, it's literally an old arena. So anyway, a woman walks in with her child and proceeds to start shooting up the church. And there's a video of like the crowd reacting to it. Luckily, police were there to immediately respond because they had security there. But not only did she get shot, her kid did. But this is the video, or one of the videos from the shooting.
Houston, we're seeing new video showing the chaos Sunday as the shots rang out. Police say the shooter was a 36-year-old woman with a history of mental illness who had attended the church in the past year. Omar Villafranca has the latest.
Investigators are sifting through chilling new videos like this, showing panicked churchgoers in one of the country's largest houses of worship. With her son by her side, police say 36-year-old Genesee Moreno walked into the megachurch carrying an AR-style rifle. When she was confronted by off-duty officers working security, she opened fire.
They were repetitive, boom, boom.
I know that had to be terrifying.
That had to be terrifying.
And you're at a place of worship and you think this is a place where this does not happen. Now, shout out to the off-duty police officers who were on the scene and, you know, they were working and took care of that pretty quickly. And like I said, this is one of those churches where they're not playing. This is first of all, it's in Texas, but number two,
they do not play.
They're literally in an arena. They have security everywhere. They have a staff of security, like multiple. Like this is like a thing. Like you're not.
Yeah, I mean Joel Osteen. It's Osteen. I'm sorry, I always say his name wrong. Joel Osteen. Mm-hmm. You know who he is. Like even if you don't know, you've heard of him. So I'm pretty sure they serious about securing, you know, his church and himself. But this is this one time the police got it right. If nobody was harmed or hurt. And you said they shot her son, but was he okay in the end?
I believe that he is okay, or he, you know, in the hospital. So one guy was shot who apparently went to the church. Now, they're not sure at this point if it was the woman who shot him or if it was the police officers trying to get her and he got kind of
in the crossfire.
Yeah, exactly. But they're saying that she had a well-documented criminal history. She had a well-documented mental health history. And I believe her family had tried to get her, you know, firearms taken away before, but weren't able to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, you know, it's a terrible situation, but luckily more people weren't hurt.
And there's really no way to regulate that. Just because a person has a history of mental illness, it doesn't stop them from being able to purchase firearms or get firearms, correct?
It depends on the state, technically. And you having a mental illness doesn't necessarily stop you from buying a firearm. If they do have these things called like, and this is a big point of contention. Matter of fact, you know, when situations happen like this, it brings back up the political side and people start protecting. So they call, I believe they call like red flag laws or something like that, where you can call, you know, the police station and say someone is dangerous or they shouldn't be able to have firearms, and the police comes and takes their guns. Now, there's a lot of controversy about this because what if people abuse the system and do this to someone that they either plan on hurting themselves or just to, you know, take away someone's liberty? And you got to think about it, like how much liberty do you have if someone can place a phone call and you don't have it anymore? So it puts police and law enforcement in a weird situation and lawmakers in a weird situation as they try to navigate that and figure it out. So, but I think that if you're diagnosed with certain mental illnesses, they can. But to be honest with you, that won't show up on the background check. So unless the person, you know what I'm saying, tells you themselves, then you probably wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? They won't know.
Because that's going into their medical records, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Dang, that's a lot.
Exactly. So it would probably have to be a very specific court order or something that someone was able to get.
Okay.
And now another strange thing about this entire story that a lot of people are talking about is the fact that for some strange reason, the right, and what I mean right, I mean like the right side of the aisle, the Republicans, the right media has been saying or trying to use this situation to talk about transgenders. Now, why, you may ask? Is because they are trying to claim that, or at least at some point try to claim that the woman was not a biological woman, it was a transgender woman, and then tried to point to this as being some type of, hey, look, they have mental illness, look at the damage that they're doing. But according to every report I saw, and even saw a video made by HPD to even clear this whole thing up at a press conference recently, she was a woman. So I don't know where that came from, but that is something that you may see in the media, but because they keep bringing it up and trying to make it seem like that's what's happened, and that's not what happened.
That's not.
It's just not. That was a regular woman.
And every walk of life has people with some type of mental illness. I don't care what gender they're born.
Exactly.
I don't care what ethnicity people are born under. There's mental illness in every subset and group and all of that. So that's not a reason.
No, I 100% agree with you. I think that, like I said, I don't know I don't really know what happened. I just looked. That's not true. But just in case you encounter that fake news, that's categorically false. I've done the research. It's not a thing.
Okay.
So, but like I said, luckily these people were able to be okay. You know, no one had their life taken other than the person who did the worst. And I hate that, you know, another thing that we got to talk about is, or it kind of even makes it worse, is you go to commit such a terrible crime and you take your child with you. That's just incredible to me.
That... we gonna chalk that part seriously up to mental illness.
Facts. You're right.
That we can chalk up to the mental illness, because I could not think of any other reason.
Exactly.